have a topic, okay? Rich, Ryan, you will understand this. Tommy,
One-on-one, who's gonna win?
You're basketball, so you won't understand it.
What?
All right, you can score like 1-3 every 10 shots. Like
That's crazy. I know my role, bro. 3 and D. Crazy.
Okay, but one of the things I've been trying to get back at since working in basketball, trying to get good at, not back. I never had it. Since working in basketball was trying to improve my jump shot. So there's like a bunch of things, and a couple of the staff members and stuff have helped me out with it. A bunch of things. Listen, man, I'm not looking at your jump shot. It looks weird, bro. I don't know how you're getting it in the net, but like, whatever. Listen, let me finish. So naturally, like a quote unquote athlete, not like a coach, I figured I want to get my jump shot better. What's the best way to get your jump shot better, guys? The simplest way.
For a guy that, if a guy that hasn't gotten the reps up, you got to get the reps up. Start close, then far. Yeah.
Just shoot, right? Basically, just shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
But you got to start close.
Like form shooting, stuff like that, right up near the basket, side, just in front.
Yeah. Don't Steph Curry walk in the court.
No, hell no. Yeah. That's how it's been, right? But because the volume of this motion has increased tenfold from what I'm normally used to doing, I developed bicep tendonitis. Now, bro, it's fine now because I've rehabbed it, right? Still a little bit of a pinch. But man, every time, this is why I firmly believe people get like hurt, especially with these little things. You get hurt to remind you that like, yo, not only are you 30, but you can't just pick up an activity and expect your body to be like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it takes a long time to adapt.
Bro, I was shooting like maybe 4 or 5 days a week because it was just one thing that I find really fun is skill acquisition. If I can learn a new skill, doesn't matter what it is, if there's interest in getting better at the skill, I will like I guess it's ADHD. I guess that's what they call it, right? Bro, laser focus. I can't think of anything else. So for like 6 weeks to 2 months, 4 or 5 times a week shooting. Bear in mind, I haven't been shooting. I've been shooting 0 times prior to that, bro. 4 or 5 times a week, like 30-minute vitamins, bro. And bro, my shoulder is cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked, bro.
Listen, I want to see that jump shot now. Like if you get in those hours, I want to see how that jump shot looks. Because when I saw it, last time I saw it, it was not good, brother, man.
No. Last time you saw Rich, so the biggest issue with the jump shot, right? I figured out was I couldn't get my like sequential timing right when it came to like actually shooting a jump shot. So I didn't understand that like in order to get the right amount of like, it's just energy flowing, right? The right amount of energy to like get the ball the right length to the basket, you got to be able to like time it up. So boom, then I'm at the bottom of my set, boom, then I jump, right? That helped a lot. And then the second biggest thing was I was always like, if it's a catch and shoot or something, grab the ball from out here, way out in front of me, and then pull it back and up to then shoot. So what I'm doing is like the energy's going backwards and then I'm having to overcome that force. Whereas just having it closer, keeping the elbow tight and pushing it like straight up vertical and then extend, right? So that's what I learned how to do. But again, skill acquisition, I wanted to like be like, okay, I want to make sure I understand when I'm doing it versus when I'm not doing it. Cook my shoulder, bro. Sucks, man. But Rich, next time I'm in Toronto, if you've got like, I don't know if it's a Lifetime Fitness or LA Fitness run, let me pull up. I'll show you how much better I got.
Yeah, we're going. We're not doing ones though. Listen, I'm not doing ones.
No. I don't want that smoke. I'm good. I know my place, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me just give you a little bit of an intro to who Ryan is. Ryan and I played at York. I started basketball at a young age, 13, Brampton. He played at Humber College, played at York, played at Carleton, went over to Europe, in Spain, played in Uruguay, played in Canada as well, Portugal. He's done it all. You know what I mean? He's won 2 championships. He's won 2 championships with Carleton. Now he's a lawyer, so he's done. He's hanging up the boots. Well, he might be coming back for a little summer league, but he's hanging up the boots. He's in the courtroom now. All right, so he's fighting for people who need it. Right? He's in commercial law. He's at Massey LLP. Man, can't say so many good things about Ryan. He's been an upstanding guy ever since I've known him. But yeah, I'm happy to have him here on the podcast and to talk about specifically the transition from being a professional basketball player to professional life after basketball, to see where people can go and how people can transition and make themselves into a professional after. So without any ado, Ryan, we'll get you to answer some questions. Hopefully everyone can enjoy the podcast. And Tommy, take it from top.
Man. Well, Ryan, we'll start off pretty simple, man. We just want to hear a little bit about who you are. You know, Rich gave you a nice little intro, but I'm sure there's a lot more to you than just the accolades. But tell us a little about who you are, where you're from, man, and how you got to where you're at right now.
Ryan, I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt and just stop everything right now. The first thing I need to ask is, yo, what's it like being 6'7", bro? As a 5'8" guy, like, I'm really struggling. Sometimes it's hard, especially in New York. Like, I can't see over people. Is that nice? Is the air different up there?
It's nice, man. It's nice.
Oh,
And
that's
I
what's up.
wasn't always this height. I had a late growth spurt when I was like 16, 17. So I know what it feels like to be the short guy. But it's nice, man. It's nice. You go to concerts, you're enjoying the whole show and everything.
These
I
men
do
say
want
go to
to
concerts. I could stand at the back. I can see everyone.
Never
I
want to
do
take
want to
up.
say thank you guys. Thanks, Rich, for that intro. I didn't know you thought so highly of me. But no, I appreciate you, Rich, and you know, longtime friend. And thank you guys for having me on the show. I really do appreciate the opportunity to come out here and speak.
Sure, bro. Appreciate you.
Amazing. So tell us a
And
little about what's going on, man.
yeah, for me, man, I'm starting my legal career. I started about a year ago, and it's been awesome. Just learning. I'm a big learning nerd and figuring things out and doing something new and putting myself in a position to provide for my family is, you know, means everything to me. And yeah, I'm just somebody who, from the beginning, I try to work as hard as I possibly can. And like what Usama was saying, skill acquisition was a big thing for me. And then you start accumulating all these different skills that allows you to do, you know, a lot of really different things and stuff at a high level. But yeah, for a long part of my life, I loved basketball, played basketball as much as I possibly could. You met incredible teammates like Richard and lifelong friends and just worked hard to continue to get better and better. Was never satisfied with myself, was never satisfied with my game. And that's what got me, you know, over the hump and into the pros and played professional. It was a roller coaster ride, a lot of ups and downs, but I had an incredible career that I look back on and I'm super, super proud of myself for. And then I was able to leverage it to starting a legal career and building, you know, a new career for myself. And I'm trying to bring the same energy and passion and tenacity and hard work and discipline that made me a professional player into the legal game and the legal field. And so it's been incredible so far. And I'm really, really excited for the future. And yeah, it's just been awesome.
Good, man. Where did you go to law school?
I went to Osgoode Hall Law School, it's in York University. It's on York University's campus.
And just tell us a little bit about the kind of law career that you're practicing right now. Like, what's the style? I know law is like you can go left, right, and center. So
Yeah. So I'm doing corporate commercial and I'm also doing commercial litigation. So corporate commercial is like business law, corporate work. That's transactions within a business. So that's if there is shareholders who are disputing or shareholders who want to buy more shares of a company, that's corporate work. And then there's also commercial work. So there's buying businesses, acquisitions, mergers, merging businesses, selling businesses, and you know, purchase agreements of different, whether you're in the service industry or you're in the product industry, everything is run by contracts, everything is run by the law and regulations. And so helping businesses do what they need to do in order to be successful. That's what a corporate commercial lawyer does. But I'm also a commercial litigator. So that means I'm a trial lawyer as well too. I go to court and I advocate for my clients. Usually that's business to business. So when two businesses have disputes, they disagree over a contract or disagree over, you know, the use of IP or whatever the case may be, and they can't come to a negotiated settlement, they got to go to court. And so you got to get a commercial litigator. And a litigator is different from a solicitor. A litigator is like I said, a trial lawyer, a lawyer who goes to trial and advocates. Solicitor is more of a deal lawyer. Solicitors would rarely go to court, if ever. And so, but I'm doing both of those things right now. I'm also doing a lot of employment law right now, which is really good. I'm doing a lot of wills and estates, so estates law as well too. And I'm starting to get a little bit into real estate law as well too. So I'm doing a lot right now. Most lawyers would have picked a lane right now. Right now, I'm kind of doing everything, still, figuring it out. But I really do like corporate commercial and commercial litigation.
Amazing, man. Is this you business wise, or are you working for a firm right now? Or
Yeah, so I'm working for a firm, Massey LLP, right now. I'm an associate at the firm, and we're a small boutique firm that mostly services businesses and individuals who have wealth and assets and stuff like that.
now we like to focus on, the podcast is called Beyond the Game Plan, and so now that you're a little bit beyond maybe the pro basketball life, how's that transition been, man? Like, how's the difference between getting up and grinding 2 a days in the pro life to now getting up and working that 9 to 5? I don't know if the law is 9 to 5, but at least the lawyer I've worked with only worked till 5. So I don't know if it's like that anymore.
The law is definitely not 9 to 5. I mean, some lawyers can get away with working 9 to 5, but young lawyers like myself, we got to put in overtime and really work really hard to get competent. Some days you can get out of there by 5, but usually you're working past 5. But the transition has been incredible, man. Just like any transition that you go through in life, it's difficult, it's hard, it's painful. You sometimes are extremely confused. There's a good amount of imposter syndrome that you go through when you're going in it.
No, we talked about that a bunch. So, yeah.
More
Yeah.
confirmation bias. I love it.
Yeah. So it's been incredible, but I'm super happy that I was able to accomplish and really transition and transform my life from being a professional athlete to now being a corporate lawyer. But I know, man, it's in the beginning, there's a lot of anxiety. In the beginning, there's a lot of, naturally doubt. Like, can I even do this? Is this even possible? But then you have small incremental successes every single day, week, month. You see yourself getting a little bit better and you start believing in yourself. You start believing that it's possible. You have great friends who support you, great resources and people who want to see you succeed and try to help you out. And so you pull together all those resources, you're scrapping, you're fighting, you're working your tail off, you're doing every single thing that you possibly can to make this happen and make it a success. And yeah, that's the transition. It's not easy, but for me, I've kind of gone through the fire and I've made it to the other side, and I'm super, super thankful that I did, because it's very, very exciting, the future.
So, man, just a quick one. Like, I'm always interested with this because, I've got a lot of great relationships with athletes that, especially from the CFL, that have transitioned or are currently making that transition from, being an elite athlete to a regular human. That is the right word. Like, at the end of the day, athletes are always put on this pedestal, right? Like, you played pro in so many different locations, and at the end of the day, you would have had a bunch of fans, right? A lot of people, cheering your name when you score a basket, do things that, no other human can do. And then you go from that to, like, you're still doing something that not a lot of humans can do, right? Like, but it's totally different. Like, at the end of the day, we revere elite athletes and stuff like that. So when you decided that that was done for you, how difficult was that mentally to realize that, nah, you know what? I'm actually, like, I'm part of the regular world now, and that's cool. How did you make that transition into, going from one mindset to completely the opposite, in my opinion? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be tough. So
I know what you mean. It's a great question. And I was thinking about it in preparing for this, what I was going to say, because, it's a huge question. And I think that in the professional sports world, it's a great anxiety. A lot of players are not prepared to make that transition. A lot of players feel anxious about losing that identity, and, like you said, losing that position on a pedestal, and all the positives and benefits that you get from it, and then having to come to the real world. And quite frankly, it's a dog eat dog world out here. Like, it is not easy out here. I think a lot of athletes, myself included, we fall into a false sense of security because we've been talented our whole lives.
Easy. Yeah.
Everything has come so easy. We think that that's how life is, and that's not how life is. That's how your sport is, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and now you have to come back into a world where you're probably in your late 20s, early 30s. You have some skills, but you haven't developed the skills that some of the people who stuck around here and went to school and have experience in their professions have developed. So you're playing catch up. I felt like I was playing catch up. I had to learn new skills. I had to transform my physical appearance, transform my way of thinking, transform the way that I speak, everything about me in order to excel in a completely new arena. And, just to build off of some of the stuff that you were saying, Usama, there's some really important points that I have to make that I had to come to terms with and realize when I was making my transition out of pro sports. And I'm not saying this to disrespect or rag on any athletes, because if you've made it to the professionals, you've done something incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And you deserve to have that praise and that respect. And you deserve to have, all the positive benefits that you got from staying late in the gym and working your tail off and pushing through injuries. You deserve to have, respect and praise and, everything that comes along with it. But the job market outside of the athlete world is very unforgiving to professional athletes, right? You're developing a skill in one very small niche section of the entire global market. If you're a professional athlete, frankly, you're a depreciating asset.
That's fair, bro. That's
That's
100%.
that's a very good point, bro. Like,
A lot of athletes don't
Yep.
think about it. They think that once I've made it to the pros, I'm at the top of my profession. And for a little bit, you are. But most athletes and every single athlete, but you're a depreciating asset almost immediately. And you're at a young age, because when you're an athlete, when you're playing, you're usually young. As you get older, your value is going to peak maybe around 22, 23, 24. And then, dude, you're going down. You're depreciating. You're not as valuable as you were when you were younger. You're a depreciating asset, not only in your world of basketball or football or soccer, but also in the outside world as well, too, where we have lawyers and doctors and engineers and physiotherapists and strength conditioning coaches, and you're a depreciating asset because when you're a professional athlete, you're not building the same type of equity and expertise and experience and skills as your counterpart is in their profession. We call them professional athletes, and they are professional athletes, but you're not, it's not as great a profession as you think it is. And I'm speaking to professional athletes out there, not to rag on them, but it hit me hard. I had to come to this realization that like, when you come home after being a pro athlete, it's like having a really nice $500,000 car, a 2020. So I finished playing pro basketball in 2022. It's like having a 2022 Escalade. Nice. Nobody could tell you that car is not nice. It's a great car.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't own a house. I don't have any assets. I don't have any career. I just have a really nice 2022 Escalade.
Put it, bro. Like,
I'll sleep in it.
You can't sleep in it, right? So nobody's gonna tell you that Escalade isn't. It's a nice car, $500,000, good car. You know what I'm saying? But you can't sleep in it, and you can't eat it, right? What are you gonna do? You're the guy who's pulling up to the party, and you have a great car, but you have no house, you have no assets, you have no way to feed your, no career, no nothing. Because look, if I'm a professional athlete and I'm doing well, a professional athlete doing well, I mean, say you're making 6 to 8K a month, 10K a month. Let's even do athletes is doing good. You're making 10K a month. That 10K a month is not the same as a physiotherapist or an accountant making 10K a month. It's not the same for a few reasons. Athletes don't get paid year round. So if you're making 10K a month, you're probably only making it for 9 months.
Yeah,
so it's
sometimes
really
even
just
6.
sometimes even 6.
Yeah.
It's really 90K or 60K, as opposed to if you're a physiotherapist, you're making 10K a month. That's 120K a year, right? Sure, athletes don't pay taxes. Well, their team pays taxes, but that 10K is tax-free, right? If I'm an athlete and I'm 25 and I'm making 10K a month, I think I'm doing great. I think I'm doing awesome. And I've done this before. I'll go to a real estate agent and I'll talk to them about buying a house, and they're not taking me seriously. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm making 10K a month. I'm average 20 points in my league. What do you mean you're not taking me seriously? I'm going to the bank. What do you mean you're not going to give me a mortgage? The bank is thinking the exact same thing that I'm thinking when I'm looking at you. It's like, sure, you're making 10K a month now. Why would I give you a 25-year mortgage?
Yeah, how are you going to be secure for me in 3 years, even 2 years?
Please.
Yeah.
God forbid, next month, you could have a season-ending injury. And you're done. 10K doesn't mean nothing. And these bankers, these real estate agents, they know that. They know 10K don't mean, like, 10K a month is good, but you're not going to be playing in 10 years. I'm not going to give you a 25-year. How are you going to pay it off in year 17? You're not going to be making 10K in year 17. As opposed to an accountant or a physiotherapist who's making 10K a year. In 10 years, they're probably going to be making a lot more than 10K a month.
I see what you're saying. It's like if you work in almost professional sport is one of those industries where if in every other industry, you're an appreciable asset because every single time, every single year, you upskill and
you're building equity.
Yeah. So as a result, you become more valuable to whether it's your employer or if you're a business owner, you charge more for your services because you have more expertise, this, that, and the other. Like, yeah, I totally get it. Whereas if, as an athlete, there is, unfortunately, for every athlete, and it's very short, there's a time point where you've reached the maximum potential. And then after that, it depreciates. It might not be 23, 24. Some it's like 28, 29, right? That's when they're at their prime. But at the end of the day, from that point, it actually depreciates very quickly.
Yes.
Compared to other. And I think that's a great point, because if you think about it like that, you'll think, right, maybe my goal as a pro athlete, especially if you're not making millions and millions, is, right, I'm going to build equity with this value that I'm increasing every year. But there's going to be a point where that value reaches its maximum cap. And when it does, what have I done with the money that I've earned? Or what have I done with the time that I had to upskill for when I need to enter my second career? Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And to hop off that point, which is obviously, Ryan, you had the idea, or you wanted to become a lawyer, and crazy. I mean, I knew you when you were, you're trying to become a lawyer while you were still playing pro. You were in classes. Which is crazy. But for those who didn't have those, like that idea to become a professional and work in the service industry, what would you advise for people who are making, that 10K a month? What would you advise for them to, start looking into, whether it's business wise or where to put their money or how to set themselves up, after they retire? What would you say?
I would say start skill acquisition immediately. If you're not passionate about something, like I was passionate about the law, like I was doing that stuff while I was playing and I really liked it. And so I knew early on, I want to be a lawyer. Like that's what I'm going to do when I'm done with this thing. If you don't know right away what you're going to do, I would say invest your money until you do. Invest it in real estate, invest it in stocks, equities, invest your money until you're ready to invest it in yourself, quite frankly.
How would you? Yeah, sorry. So you said real estate, but how would you get it in real estate if you can't get a mortgage? How would you circumvent that?
You can buy REITs. So there's equities that they sell in the capital markets that are basically units of different real estate portfolios that you can buy. That you don't need to buy a mortgage outright, but you can buy a piece of the real estate sector that's going to grow in Ontario or wherever the case may be, wherever you buy it. Or you can, if you're making great money, which are some players who are making awesome money. They're not in the NBA, but they're making great money, who could afford to buy an apartment or who could afford to put a mortgage down on a home and then rent it out to somebody and create a structure. Then So you can invest your money in those type of ways, with the right structure and with the right deal. Obviously don't do that on your own. Like, you're probably going to need a lawyer and a good business plan, but there's plenty of ways to invest your money. But I think the best way is to invest in yourself. Trade school. Like, maybe you need to think about being an electrician. Maybe you need to think about being a physiotherapist. There's not a lot of great exit plans for professional athletes, quite frankly. Like, you can go into coaching, and if you're in the States, coaching, you can make incredible money. But if you're not in the States, you don't really make that kind of great money as a coach. You can get into doing camps, you can get into broadcasting, and those are very, very solid careers. But I think that if you're making great money, you've already shown the ability to be disciplined. You've already shown the work ethic. You've shown the talent, skills. You can probably be a great business owner. You can probably be a great professional if you just invest your time, effort, and energy and apply yourself in a particular profession. For me, it was law. And so I'll take you back to the car analogy. What advice would y'all give to a dude? And so it was 2022 when I finished playing. If I had a 2022 Escalade and I didn't have a house, didn't have a career, didn't have no assets, all I had was that 22 Escalade, what's the advice that you got to give me if I want to end up getting that house or getting
Sell
that?
Sell the car.
I got to
Sell
sell
the
it.
car.
Run.
Buy a little run around and then go make some bread, bro.
It's going to hurt my heart. It's going to hurt my heart.
Yeah.
But I got to sell that car. You guys, because you guys are in the business. You guys are savvy. You know what I'm talking about. I had to say, yes, what I did was great. What I did in the athlete world, what I did in Europe, it was beautiful. It was amazing. Super proud of myself. I got to take all of that and I got to sell it for the highest bidder and I got to get my cash. So that's what I did. I took my cash and I reinvested it into law school. I reinvested it into myself. I got to use this as leverage for my next opportunity, for how I'm going to buy the house, how I'm going to buy the assets, how I'm going to buy the investments. And then if I do it really well, I can buy the car back. I can buy a 2028 Escalade next time, right? Rather than me, it's 2026 and I'm still bragging about my 2022 Escalade. Like, dude, first of all, nobody cares about it anymore because it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's far less valuable now as it was in 2022, which is what you are as a professional athlete. I can't be showing up to these business meetings and being like, oh, the only thing that I've ever accomplished is that I was a professional athlete. It's like, that's nice, but that doesn't
The
mean
world doesn't care about that. The world doesn't care about that, man.
Unless I'm a car guy, and even if I'm a car guy, like, I don't really care. Like, unless you're a sports guy, yeah, it's nice, but I'm not about to do a $1 million deal with you just because you played pro bat. Like, what else have you done?
It's
what
nice
else
small talk.
It's
Nice small talk, but once you're in that real world, unfortunately it's not relevant anymore because people are trying to do so. By the way, before we move on, I'm just gonna say that car analogy, I'm stealing it. That is legitimately one of my favorite analogies for transition from one thing to another. I love it. Thanks, bro.
You got to sell that car. You got to sell it, right? It's a great car. It's beautiful. It's nice. Sell it. And then take that equity that you got from selling the car and invest it in your next thing, dude. Because as a professional athlete, quite frankly, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning.
Gotta keep going.
If you think about it as the end, dude, you're the guy at the party with a $1 million car and no house. That's who you are.
This is where we gotta get like a Clutch sponsorship and put a quick ad in between. So you can sell that car.
Sell your car.
Speaking of selling your car, but I need athletes to think about it like that. And I'm not ripping on you because it's hard to tell somebody who's been working their whole dang life that, like, what do you mean I got to give up this identity so that I can, so that you can feed yourself for the rest of your life, because you can't live off of your earnings. Even if you went to the NBA and you made $30 million and you come home, you're 31, 32, 33 years old, you can't live the rest of your life off that $30 million. You need purpose. You need something else. You need a job. Like, you need to do something with that. Because if you only living off that 30 million, trust me, bro, if you don't go broke, you're going to end up going into something very, very silly because you don't have no structure. You don't have no coaching. You don't have a team anymore. You don't have any purpose. You're going to end up degenerating, right? And so whether you're the $1 million athlete or whether you're the $100,000 athlete or you're the $500,000 athlete, you need to plan for what's next. You just got to, dude, because you can't be at home 32, 33, 34, and all your friends are like, yo, I'm going to work. And then I'm going to and you're like, oh, I'm not going to work. Like, bro, you don't want to be that guy. You don't. You want to take what you've earned and what you've done in your life and use it as leverage for the next thing. Last thing I'm going to say about this subject, I read stories about Shea, SGA. He said, I don't know if you guys heard, he said that as soon as I start declining, I'm going to leave the game because there's so many things else that I need to do. He's got the right people in his head talking about it. Shea could probably, even when Shea's declining, he can still pull, 30, 25, 15, 8, as his years go, he can pull that money. He's smart enough to say, no, as soon as I'm on that decline, as soon as this depreciation starts happening, I'm out of here. I'm going to do something else and probably make more money than he was making as an NBA player. Guys like Kevin Durant, guys like LeBron James, guys like Andre Iguodala, all these stories that are coming out about them investing and 10xing their money, 3xing their money, that's not by accident. Mm-hmm. They're putting that stuff out in preparation for the conversation we're talking about, where you go to the party and it's like, yeah, that's a good talking point. LeBron's not going to get the next, private equity deal by saying, oh, remember when I went to Boston and I dropped 46 in the play? Like, yeah, LeBron, that's nice. But how do I know that you're going to 10x my money right now with this deal? Like, what have you done? So athletes are getting privy, they're getting wise and saying, okay, I got to start putting out stories of my successes outside of basketball. I got to start putting out stories about my deals where I bought this company at a low margin and then I sold it, or I fixed it up, or I improved the equity and I did this and then I sold it, because that's what's going to land me my next 7-figure, 8-figure deal. This basketball stuff only matters to these basketball guys. And when I'm done playing basketball, quite frankly, I'm not going to be talking to these basketball guys no more. I'm going to be talking to these deal makers. I'm going to be talking to these rainmakers. And what they respect is that work, is the fact that you were smart enough to say, yeah, I had a great NBA career, or yeah, I had a great pro career, and then I sold it ruthlessly because I have a next thing that I'm doing. And then I did incredible with that. That's win number 2. And then I took that W and then I flipped it around and I did this, and then I got another win. Then they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to work with this guy. He's not just a basketball head. This guy's got a mind on him. You know what I mean? I think that athletes need to start thinking about their career as a really, really nice car. And it's nice. It's good. It worked in your 20s and it got you the girls and it's nice. But bro, it's time. You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it, fam.
Well, last thing I want to say is, if you're an athlete and you just heard Ryan talk about what he just talked about, the one thing that he said to me, at least that sticks out, is Ryan is the 1%. NBA or not, being a professional athlete, getting paid to play at a high level, that's the 1%. He knows and he developed the skills to get to that level in his sport. What he's also saying now is, I have those skills of determination. I have those skills of knowing how to bust my ass to get to where I need to be. So he transitioned that into a career that literally, in law, if you don't know law, you got to start at the bottom and you got to bust your ass to get to the top again. And so what he's saying is, I know I have those skills, so why not challenge myself and go into this law career, which is crazy admirable. And I think a lot of athletes need to know, because a lot of them get lost after, right? They're like, I don't know where to go from here. But you already have the skills to take it to that next level. Is what you're confirming, which is great. Yeah, I think that's a great point.
You just got to believe in yourself. You just got to find out what it is, what your thing is. Again, if it's electrician's doing great. If you're a plumber, plumbers are doing great. If you want to get into physiotherapy, do it. If you want to get into accounting, get your CPA, do it. If you want to get into investment banking, do it, bro. And the crazy thing is we're in 2026 now. A lot of these schools, a lot of these trade organizations, they will look at your extracurriculars, like the fact that you played high university sport or you played professional sport, and that'll be a plus. They'll open up the doors to that university. They'll open up the doors to that program for you because you've demonstrated success outside of the classroom. Now's the time to go after that thing that, when you're playing ball, or playing whatever, people told you, nah, you can't do that. Just stick to playing your sport. No, do that thing that you wanted to do. Go do it now. And yes, it's going to suck in the beginning, in the first 2 years. All the other people who have been doing this for 3-4 years, whether it's, being an accountant or being an electrician, yes, they're going to make your life a living hell. Do what you did for your sport. Stick with it. Keep working. Learn learn the tricks, learn the moves, learn what they're doing, figure out how to get ahead. And then before you know it, yes, you're going to make that transition. And then you're going to have a career that's going to feed you when you're 30, 40, 50, 60. And then you're going to create a business that you can pass down to your kid. When you're a professional athlete, it's a great story to tell your kid, I was the man. But you can't give your kid the jersey and the shorts and then he magically turns into the man. You can't do that. But if I own a great electrician business and I built it from the ground up, guess what happens when my kid comes of age? I'm passing that thing down and he's going to be the man who has the keys, right? So as an athlete, it's great that you got there, but quite frankly, the market is unforgiving and you're a depreciating asset. You need to use that as leverage to leapfrog to your next thing. Because it's not the end, it's the beginning.
Powerful, powerful. Yeah, listen, I wanted to transition over to a couple of things, which is, obviously you got a couple of rehab specialists on the line right here. And, we love to talk about injuries, all things injuries as well. And talk about the injuries that you had, especially in Portugal. Like, I work with you with a couple of them. And like you were saying how cutthroat it is, especially in Europe. Tell us what happens when you get hurt in Europe and how different therapy is in Europe versus, in Canada. Like, tell us your experience.
Yeah, and Europe is definitely more cutthroat. And when you get hurt in Europe, they don't really believe in rehabilitation in the same way that they would in North America. If you get hurt in Europe, and rightly so, they're just going to replace you. They don't have time for you to do your surgery and to get yourself back to healthy and then get back in shape and then do maintenance on your knee and then work you back onto the field. They don't have time for that, dude. They got 100 players who would take half your money to come play in that league. They're gonna get rid of you.
So what are you saying? Like the next day they're basically, they booked your flight and you're out of there.
Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. Unless you're playing top league and you've proven yourself 10 years, you've hit 3 game winners, the crowd will go nuts if they release you. You're gone. You're out of there.
I think
Not
it's
in the contract, like literally injury and see ya.
Yeah. If it's a big injury, you're out of there. A lot of guys, like if it's an injury that's going to take you longer than 2 weeks to get back, you're out of there. You're out of there. They don't even really, I'm not going to say they don't believe in it because I'm sure they do, but they're not going to give you the time to rehab and heal and get back. You got to be ready.
I think you also have to think about it in the sense of like, it's multifaceted, but the two main things are, in order to have a successful rehab, you have to have staff on hand who can carry out your rehab. And a lot of those smaller markets where there isn't necessarily as much money, they're not willing to hire staff that they know they're going to have to pay for expertise in order to get it. Or if they do, it's part-time. So, there just isn't time to be able to be as hands-on and work to, position an athlete for a great rehab post-injury. And then additionally, you got to think about, in a lot of places, Canada included, it's not just Europe, right? Pro sport, just because you say pro sport, it doesn't mean that people are making a ton of money. They might be making good amounts, but as you said, it's like short-term contracts, stuff like that. So what's more worth it for a business? I'm paying this guy $10K a month. Now he's hurt. I'm going to have to pay him $10K a month and then someone else $10K a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could just get rid of him and pay the younger kid $8K a month.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just doesn't make financial sense when you're talking about small amounts of money like that. But when you're talking about a $40 million contract, you've got people on staff who can deal with that. And
Absolutely.
that person has proven that they're worth it. Like you say, like they're worth it. And, they're going to be who they were before the injury, after the rehab.
So you're willing to wait for
uncertainty, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Europe is definitely a bit different. And I think you're exactly right. Usually the physiotherapist is a part-time guy. He doesn't have that much power, and like he can't go to the coach and be like, so-and-so's only practicing for 30 minutes today. Like, get the heck out of here. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's very, very different dynamic in terms of the power physiotherapists get. The sports, the physical trainers, the strength and conditioning coaches, are the guys in Europe. As far as my experience, I only played in first division in Portugal, but even then, the physiotherapists they were using rudimentary stuff. Like, it was much, much better in Canada. And I just think that, yeah, they just have a different idea about expectations, and they don't really, I don't want to use the words cater. They don't, what's the word that you use where you use a different, you have a different plan for one player and a different plan for another player. It's not catering to that player, but it's like,
Yeah, they don't individualize plans. Yeah.
yeah, they don't do that. I remember there was one story where I was playing in Spain, and I was one of like the important players on the team. I was playing over 30 minutes a game, putting up, great numbers and everything like that. But it's tough being an important player. Like, it's a big toll on your body. And again, you've done a lot of wear and tear on your body, right? And so I remember there was this one strength and conditioning coach. We had a game 2 days ago. I played a whole bunch of minutes. My body was sore. Now we're doing lift. I think like a day later or 2 days later. And he's explaining the lift plan for the day. And he goes, yes. And then after we do this workout, we're all going to get on the treadmill and run for 15 minutes on the treadmill. And then we're going to go and do this. I'm like, dude, I'm not running for 15 minutes on the treadmill. Like, we got a game in 2 days. I'm going to play 30 minutes. I'm not running on it. Like my body's already sore. What do I gain from running on the treadmill for 30 minutes? And he's just kind of like, well, the whole team is doing it. We're doing it as a team. You have to do it. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that because I have to save my body for this game coming up. If I run on this treadmill for 15 minutes, I'm going to be sore today. I'm going to be sore tomorrow. And by the time the game comes up, I'm going to be sore for the game. And I understand where he was coming from. A lot of these guys who we're playing with, and when you're playing overseas, are 18-year-old prospects, 17-year-old prospects, 19-year-old prospects, 20-year-old prospects. They didn't play college ball where they had to lift and run and do all the suicides and the sprints, and they just killed themselves. They didn't do that, right? So this club is their, this is their ring of fire, right? So they need to run and do the workouts and to bust their ass and I already did that stuff. I went to Carleton. My body is done. I'm not doing that stuff no more. You know what I mean? This is their college. I did my college. You guys need to give me, maintenance and get back to feeling good so you can go and play 35 minutes, right? They don't think like that. They're like, no, the whole team's doing it. We're all doing it together. And I'm like, I had to kind of just, put my foot down. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, make the young guys do that hard stuff. Most of the top players in these leagues are 25, 26, 27, 28, and they've done that college kill my body, destroy myself. They're not about to do that again. Not about to do that again. And if there was a physiotherapist there who had some pull, they can be like, yo, look, Ryan can't do that right now. Like, that's counterproductive. He needs to do some body weight, some opening up, some this and that. So it's just, they have a very different, because their structure's different. I just don't think that there's a huge emphasis on rest and recovery. They're more strength conditioning and training and development. Because they cater to their young prospects rather than their kind of old veterans who are actually, putting up the numbers that are getting the wins for the club. So the structure is just different over there. And so they treat injury and they treat maintenance and they treat rest and recovery differently.
I think obviously, like, from a practitioner standpoint, it's very difficult to individualize programs when you're so understaffed, right? Because I've been in situations where, like, professional sport, where, like, they're incredibly understaffed. So you can't possibly individualize programs and stuff like that for everybody. But I totally get what you mean, man. It's one of those things where when you can't individualize at the very least between veteran players who have done the physiological development and stuff like that, and, like, honestly really just need to get to the next game to play it, versus the ones who, like, still need to become the best versions of themselves athletically. If you don't distinguish that difference, then yeah, you can lead a lot more players to get hurt. So yeah, I agree with that. Look, we're gonna move over now. I think this is one of my favorite parts of every podcast that we do. This one's a little bit more tailored to you, and Rich got the first question, but it's the trivia section of our podcast. So this one I'm excited about because it's going to test your understanding of your own career and how well you get it. right?
Okay.
So I'm excited for it. Rich, take us away with the first question. Go for it, man.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, we'll talk about you at York Lions. Maybe you can remember this, but answer me. We shared the backcourt in 2013, 2014. All right, and you were a beast defensively. But do you remember where you were ranked in terms of the blocks in the fifth when you finished fifth in the category? Do you remember how many blocks you had?
In the league or in the
Yeah,
team?
on the
No.
team in the league.
No. I would
Take a
say
guess.
maybe,
Take a wild guess.
I'd say maybe 1.4.
Nah, total the whole season.
Oh, all season. Man, I would say maybe 35, 30 blocks.
Just a little bit high. You had 26. You had 26. But that's
26.
about 1.6. I think 1.6, 1.4. I think you were kind of close to it anyways when you answered that first one. And then you had a monster weekend in 2013 as well, where you had 47 points. But I want to know, what did you win in that week? What did you win in that week at York?
Gotta have been player of the week.
Yeah. York's male athlete player of the week. Okay, perfect. All right, let me also ask you this, which is, you transferred to Carleton, and then you secured a back-to-back OUA U Sports Championship 2016, 2017. And then in 2017 finals against Ryerson, you were the player of the game. How many points did you score to seal Carleton's 7th straight title?
19. Can't ever forget that game.
Do that by heart.
Hey,
Yeah, you got that one right.
I'll never forget that one.
All right, and last question. Okay. During your 2018-2019 season, playing for Gijon Basket in Spain, where I was supposed to come to visit you before COVID shut it down in 2020, you had a game where you pulled down a ridiculous career high in rebounds against Augustino's Leclerc.
Yeah, that's
How many rebounds did you get that game?
Oh, that's a tough one. I know I had some crazy rebounding games that season. I'd say maybe 20 rebounds.
23.
hey, that's what's up. You know your career. All right.
Yeah. This guy. Listen, I thought you said you left it. You sold the car. Didn't you sell the Escalade, man?
Hey, listen, man. He took what was in the glove box, though.
You should have
He
forgotten
stole
all
the
this.
Escalade. He took what was in the glove box, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially that Ryerson game, the game that the second question or your third question. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I haven't told anybody this, so this is a special for you guys.
Let's go. Yeah.
Podcast.
Okay.
But I still have dreams, but they're also nightmares. That was probably one of the toughest games of my whole life, that game. I still got dreams and nightmares of going up against Manny DeRessa and Adika Peter McNeely. Those guys were tough.
Guys,
And
yeah.
in this dream, I don't know if I'm gonna win that game, right? These guys are coming at me. I'm trying to, Connor Woods over here somewhere, Eddie's over here, so I still have dreams of that game where I don't know if I'm gonna come out with the W. Like, that's how tough that game was. And so yeah, I still remember it. Those ones you don't ever forget.
You don't forget it.
And I think that's one of those things that it's like, you're always going to have those fond memories of those times because they're a part of you, right? Like, there's certain things that you're just never going to forget. So that was cool to see, though, man. Look, we're going to hit you with some quick fire questions. These ones, don't think, just answer. Okay. I'm hit you with.
You guys are going to edit this stuff, right?
I've got 5. No. This one is no edit, bro.
We're keeping it.
Okay, all right. FIBA rules or NBA rules?
FIBA rules. Love FIBA rules.
Okay, that's what's up. I can't ask why. They're quick fire. Game-winning buzzer beater or game-saving chase down block?
Buzzer beater.
Okay. Playing a sweltering no AC gym in Spain or a freezing arena in Canada? Like, we talking Winnipeg, bro. They forgot to turn the heating on.
No AC gym in Spain.
No AC, sweating it out. All right. York Lions red or Carleton Ravens black?
You better watch yourself.
Gotta go with the Carleton Ravens black.
This guy. This guy.
I turned into.
Hey, no. You know what? No.
It's beyond. Let's shut it down right now.
No.
You guys tune in to the Beyond the Game Plan podcast. Hey, let's wrap it up right now.
Nah, I need more.
Forgive me. Next time I get on the court of the rich, he's gonna torture me. I know.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna come in all red and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey,
You know what? He won 2 championships with Carlton, so I'll allow.
I love it. I love, yeah, you're valid.
That Carlton Black does a little something to the competition too. I'm not gonna.
Crazy, bro. Listen, before this gets too deep, let me ask the last question. This one's about your current career too. Would you rather a cross-examination in the courtroom, or would you rather defend a fast break one-on-one?
I'll take a cross-examination.
Damn, the fast break is that bad.
He's got more
That's about
confidence.
5 years ago.
Can't get your ankles broken in a cross-examination, my guy.
Yeah. Oh man, I swear.
All right, man. The last
Appreciate it.
segment we have here is just fill in the blank really quick, okay? This is just a Ryan edition of fill in the blank. 3 quick questions. Hardest player that I've ever had to guard in university was who?
He says Rich.
He's not going to say Rich.
He said, even Rich said, no, that's crazy.
Nah, he never had to guard me. That's the thing. Or else
On
he kept
my
cook.
team or on another team?
Yeah, on any team, yours or a different team.
You know what, man? I gotta give him his credit. Thomas Scrub was a tough mother.
Okay.
He's scrub.
Thomas
Great
Scrub.
name. Must be
Shout out to
great.
Thomas Scrub.
Okay, next. The absolute best basketball shoe of all time is what?
That's a good question, man. I
I'm
like
going
the
to ask you to
Kyrie
do
Irving.
this two versions. To play basketball in versus like straight, like swag.
To play basketball will be the Kyrie Irvings. I don't know what they're called, but those orange ones,
All right.
those
Bet.
are the best shoes ever.
And fashion.
Best shoes to wear? I like Jordans.
Which ones though?
I love my
Hard
cool
question.
grays.
Okay. Okay, that's what's up.
Retros.
The last question for you, Ryan. Real quick. Who's the funniest teammate you've ever played with in your entire career?
The funniest? Rich.
Hey, that's crazy. You got your flowers. Let's go.
I got one.
Listen,
I
You
love
skills, you didn't get the
What-
defense. You got the. It was a funny boy.
That's crazy, bro. Rich, you got one, man.
Rich is a good team, man. We had some good times.
Man. Yeah,
That's
we
what's up.
definitely did. We definitely did.
Hey, Ryan, man. Honestly, bro, like this is my first time meeting you properly. I think we've probably crossed paths a couple
Mhm.
times, but never really chatted, man. It was an absolute pleasure to get to know you. Like the number one thing I'll say is it's clear how passionate you are about like at the very least giving athletes this message of like, man, you need it's not even a fallback. It's you need to understand that there's the career after the career and you need to be prepared for it. And that's the
Yes.
number one thing I took away from it is like, not only you're passionate with helping other people out, but you're clearly doing that yourself. And you know, way to lead by example. But man, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you, bro. This has been a great episode. I've had a lot of fun, and yeah, looking forward to hopefully our paths crossing soon again. If I'm in Toronto, hopefully we could chop it up. But absolutely loved everything that you said. So yeah, this has been the Beyond the Game Plan podcast where weekly we speak about all things rehab, sports performance, training, pretty much everything in the sporting world. And today the lesson was sell your mother flipping car.
I like that. Yeah.
Ryan, appreciate you. Guys, appreciate you. Thank you very much.